Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, wanted to do a little bit of second guessing here with you about that game that just ended today. If you haven't listened to it yet, you can go listen to it, watch it, or whatever. The Cleveland Indians, who are definitely in the hunt for the American League pennant, at least at this stage of the season here in late May, lost this game to the Senators 5-4. And there is, I think, a little bit of second guessing that we can do in this one. The biggest one is the one that I just reported to you, which is the fact that they did pinch hit for Page with this guy Tresh, Mike Tresh, the catcher, who I think is. Let's take a look here. Is he the only catcher? Yeah, he's the only catcher they have on the bench, and so they decided to use the backup catcher as a pinch hitter. I guess the first question is, was this guy really the right hitter or not? My guess is that the computer manager probably was paying attention here to the righty-lefty splits, and he is marginally better in terms of average than Ray Boone. So I would say that Boone is probably the better hitter on the bench with much better slugging percentage and a much better on-base percentage. I think we're too soon in the season to say that one player has played too much, one player too little. I mean, Boone appeared in 86 games, 258 at-bats in real life. He's only had 7 games and 11 at-bats in Diamond Mine. He's almost exclusively been a pinch hitter. And the reason why, of course, is because Lou Boudreau has been the everyday shortstop. Now, there is a problem here, right? And you can see this when we look at it. Boudreau, 31 years old, at Boone, 25. And so what was happening in real life is Boudreau, who was player manager, was taking himself out of the game and putting in the kid because he was feeling tired. But we don't have that happen in Diamond Mine. We don't have that happen in any of these games that I know of where a fielder's going to get tired as the game goes on. That's at least my guess as to what was going on. We might want to look that up and make sure about it. So that's the first question, right, which is, did you really want to put Tresh in this game, or did you feel a little bit better putting in maybe somebody else? You can see Tresh, of course, had no hits against left-handed pitchers. So it's a good thing, I guess, we didn't have a lefty on the mound. 0 average, 0 slugging percentage in real life. Probably has a low sample size in terms of at-bats. Yeah, only 8 at-bats against lefties in real life. He's had more in Diamond Mine, interestingly enough, because of the way that we platoon him. So I would call that a pretty, controversial decision to use Tresh, who had 38 games played, only 37 at-bats in real life, instead of using somebody like I was saying, Ray Boone, who makes a little bit more sense. I know Boone technically is your backup shortstop. I guess if Vila can't play short, can Berardino? Let's take a look here. And I wish I didn't have to do it like this. Actually, you know what? You can go over here to the defense tab and get a look at this here. So Berardino would have been your other shortstop. But in using Tresh, you've used up your last catcher. If something happens to Jim Hegan, then you're really in trouble. So I'm not so certain that I agree with what the computer decided to do. Right. And the other question is, did you really want to take Satchel Paige out of that situation? Right. Runner on at second base with nobody out. I think it was, or was it with one out? It was with one out. And theoretically, I mean, you had just bunted already, I think. Let's go back over here to this game log, or just to the score sheet is good enough, because I keep forgetting this sort of thing. Right. Yeah, there was a single, and then they bunted with Hegan. I understand bunting with Jim Hegan, who's not a great hitter. Right, but you got to wonder if it wouldn't have been better to then bunt again with Page, or to have Page just go up and kind of flare away so that you could keep him in this ball game for when he goes to the bottom of the 9th inning. I mean, that's what you're trying to do. No matter what, the game's going to go to the bottom of the 9th, and you're wondering, okay, so who did the Indians have left? I mean, they did have a couple of pitchers. You could put Sam Zoldak out there, who has not played much in Diamond Mine yet. I guess 8 innings pitched, hasn't given up a run. So that might be your guy to go in to get the save, right? Theoretically. I mean, other guys, Frank Pappas you could put in, but we're going to start him. Early Win, of course, we're going to start. Feller is too tired. I mean, and then you're looking at like Gene Bearden with a 6.64 ERA. I don't know about that. Or Steve Gromick, who just pitched. He started a game just a couple days ago. So, I mean, I don't know. You could do it, I guess, either way. But at least as far as I'm concerned, if I'm in that situation, I'm probably going to keep Page in the ball game. I don't really see the reason to take him out. I know it's the top of the 9th inning. You're down by a run. You got a runner on at second, but you have one out. You can still bunt with him, right? If you want to move the runner down to third, there's nothing wrong with doing that, right? As opposed to what they did, which was put in a weak-hitting part-time catcher who swung at the first pitch he saw and hit a fly ball, and if Keltner hit into a ground ball, and that's the end of the ball game. So anyway, that's sort of what my impression is of this, and that's kind of the approach that I would take. I'm really interested actually in knowing what you guys would prefer to do, and if you would, if you were in that situation, if you would do something different. There's a lot of this sort of like second guessing that we can do when we look at these box scores and figure out exactly what's going on, and especially with these computer managers, try to figure out exactly how they're thinking. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think that Diamond Mine Baseball puts too much emphasis on the lefty-righty matchup. I don't think that it's quite as significant as the game brings it out to be. And I think that unfortunately it leads to a lot of people doing the thing that you did see in real life in the 90s, early 2000s, where you'll have like the left-handed pitcher come in to pitch to one left-handed batter, and then you take him out of the game again. Not exactly the best bench management in the world, and not really something I would do. But again, I might be, kind of a old, fuddy-duddy, and maybe we don't want to listen to what an old guy like me has to say. There you go. Talk to you again tomorrow. Hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.